Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the Instant Reactions. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate all of our listeners, and we're back today to talk about another 2025 release. This movie is actually based off of a book. Dustin, I admit I haven't read the book. Have you read the book?
Come on.
We're talking about 2025's Clown in a Cornfield. And if you just hear the title, you're thinking it sounds kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
But to me, I thought the movie was fine. Like it met my expectations, which weren't really high. I was just expecting, fun little slasher movie, and that's what I got. I thought that's what it was. Is the movie perfect? No. Is it? I mean, is it on Sinners level? No, absolutely not. But I mean, this is a movie that I look forward to reviewing one day. I think it'll be a fun watch just to talk about it. Uh, these movies should exist, and I'm glad we got one because it reminds me of like 80s slashers, campy slashers. I had fun with it. What about you?
I went into this movie thinking this is going to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I had my expectations, I don't think could have been any lower. And the movie exceeded my expectations. I actually had a good time with it. I think it's a fun movie. Um, the trailer that I saw, I was like, okay, this is dumb. And you're right, the name of the movie, Clown in a Cornfield, I was like, oh, God. But I went into it, and maybe it's because this was movie number 53 in the theater for me this year. Maybe it's because 52 was so bad, Rosario, that this one looks great by comparison. But I seriously went into this movie thinking this was going to be Screamboat levels bad, but it's actually closer to Abigail levels of enjoyment for me. It's fun.
Nice. Abigail levels. That's good. You like
It's
Abigail.
not quite there, but it's fun.
No, but I know what you mean, like the levels of enjoyment. I mean, once I saw the director, Eli Craig, he did Tucker and Dale. I know you're a Tucker and Dale fan.
So
I
I
just
knew that name.
I just didn't think that it was going to be that bad. Like I knew it would be at least decent, watchable. It wouldn't be a steaming pile of mess like we did last week, Rosario. Like no offense to those people, that movie is just not. It's just not good.
Well,
Like I
some
did not
offense.
enjoy it at all.
Some offense. Maybe it'll spark a fire for them to do better work.
A little constructive criticism never hurt
Yeah.
nobody. But man, we straight ripped them though, but deservedly so. Let's jump into our pros. Dustin, you want to kick us off with pros?
Yeah, I told you before we started here, I've got way more cons than I do pros, but that's going to make it sound like I didn't like the movie. That's not the case. I want to preface this by saying that. Pros for me, the movie was funny. Like there was several times where I laughed when I was supposed to laugh. I think this
Mm-hmm.
movie is very self-aware. Like sometimes movies are cheesy and stupid, but they try not to be, but they still are cheesy and stupid. This one, every time that something was cheesy or stupid, like they leaned into it and it made it funny, so it made it work. I thought there were some really good kills,
Oh
some
yeah.
really good kills, and good gore. So that's a plus, especially when you, like you said, when you go into it expecting like an '80s style slasher, you want a lot of blood, and we got plenty of it. And the biggest pro that I can give this movie was that it held my attention. I wasn't bored with it, not for a minute. The runtime's great; it helps with that. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I think I told you before we started. Also, you mentioned Will Sasso. I didn't know he was in this movie. The only person I knew that was in this movie was Kevin Durant because I was so positive of his performance in Abigail, and I like him in a lot of other stuff that he's been in as well. That I was excited to see him in the movie. I was a little disappointed because we don't get much of him. But as soon as I saw Will Sasso on the screen, I laughed, and he hadn't even said a word yet. Like he just walks in, and I'm like, "Is that Will Sasso?" And then I got a better look at him, and I was like, "It is," and I just started laughing. So I think the casting was great, and yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun movie. I'm not familiar with Katie Douglas' game, Quinn Maybrook, but I thought she was a very, very good final girl. Like I
Yeah,
thought she gave no Oscar worthy performance, but she gave a really good final girl slasher performance. I thought she was very good. Uh, Kevin Durant to me was a standout, which I kind of expected. Like you mentioned, he wasn't on screen a lot, but I'm sure you're going to criticize maybe the accent, but I thought he pulled off a nice accent. I've met Kevin Durant at a convention before, super nice guy. You know, I just knew he would be good.
yeah.
He's just this. Like when he's on screen, he's on camera. Like he steals his scenes, and I think he did that every single time. And he just has something about him where I think he's just such a likable fellow. Like you're just
And
drawn to him. And
he's very consistent. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
he basically steals every scene that he's in, and it's like that in like everything you see him in. Like he's just got that screen presence that I harp on certain people not having. I'm not gonna say her name this episode, but he's got it, and yeah, he maximized his minimal screen time in this movie.
You talking about
I'm
Don
not gonna say
Johnson's
it.
daughter?
I'm not gonna say it. Dakota
Okay, that's
Johnson's just awful, man. Like, why'd you do that to me?
like you mentioned, the kills were great, and the movie was funny. It's like, what more can you ask for out of a cheesy slasher? Like, it's good kills and it's funny, and
Yeah,
the acting I thought overall was decent. I
yeah,
mean, like we've mentioned, like it wasn't like top notch Silence of the Lambs level performances, but like all the acting was good. It wasn't like cringy or just like, oh god, like it wasn't like watching Screamboat. No offense or Rosario. I mean, didn't really love that lead lady's performance, but I thought the acting was fine from everybody too, and they leaned into the cheese when it was appropriate, like you mentioned.
yeah.
I mean, as good as like the kills were and as scary as the clowns looked, they leaned into the funny parts, which is what you're supposed to. And with Eli Craig being the director, you know, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, you kind of expected that. You expected some funny moments. What was your favorite kill, you think? I don't want to spoil, but
There's the one at the end, the head smash, because
oh
it was a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
blood, man. It was a lot of
that was
blood.
unexpected too.
Yeah, I think that one. One of the kills actually made my cons list, and I'll get into that. But that was probably my favorite, the head smash, because it was unexpected and it was a lot of blood.
Yeah, yeah, I like that one a lot too. I got to go with the bench press one. I like that one. I mean, it felt like a throwback to Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, you know, the Roach Coach one. But I mean, that's a kind of like nod that I like. You didn't like that one, did you?
I'm gonna save it.
Of course. I liked it, so he hated it. Of course. This guy's just always being a contrarian to me. I'm just kidding.
No, no, no.
The kill that I thought was pretty ridiculous was the very last one. But we'll talk about that in the
Yeah,
cons.
that was too. Like, okay, actually, there's a lot wrong with that scene. She doesn't even know how to drive a stick, and all of a sudden, she knows how to throw it in high gear and floor it. That car would have stalled and died. And then, not only, I guess this is a spoiler, but that she did that. But when she hit that body, it exploded. That's not real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there ain't no way, like, I mean, it would have Jeepers Creeper rolled off the, like, windshield onto the ground or something, but that thing acted like it was a damn bird getting hit by Randy Johnson's pitch or something.
Yeah, it was wild.
So that's baseball. I knew that one.
Hey, look at you.
You got any more pros you want to talk about, or you just want to jump into the cons? I mean, I
Uh,
don't want to be short with the pros, but I mean, a
it's
majority of the movie is just a pro. Like Dustin mentioned, the runtime is good. You don't get bored. The kills are good. It's funny. The atmosphere is nice. There's some good camera work. I mean, a lot of the movie is good. Like, I don't.
it's one of those movies that I don't think any one thing stands out, or we mentioned some, but there's not a lot of things that stand out and make it exceptional, but it all works together. So that's hard to heap praise on it because it's cohesive. It works. So
Very fair. You want to kick us off with your
oh
cons? You said you had a lot.
yeah, and one more pro, Katie Douglas, like you said, I'm not familiar with her game either, but lovely, lovely young lady. Lovely young lady. We'll leave it at that. For my cons, I do have a lot more. First of all, and we're going to get in some minor spoiler territory here. I'm not going to spoil. Look, the movie's about a clown killer, so there's nothing really to spoil except for who did it. But the Wi-Fi thing, it bothered me. Her dad catches her in the driveway because she was out past curfew, whatever. She storms in the house. They just got internet connected that day. She runs upstairs, pissed off at him, jumps on the bed, and then she gets a text, and we see her phone, and she's connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. When did she have time to get the Wi-Fi password? That doesn't work, brother. God, that bothered me. Um, the
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, I did, because as soon as she got on her bed, I was like, I bet she's going to get a text, and I bet she's connected to Wi-Fi. Like, I was looking for it. And then it happened, and I was like, no way, dude. She was pissed at her dad, just ran up the stairs. All right. Your favorite kill, not the kill itself. That's cool. But, brother, a hacksaw blade is not cutting a head smooth off. It's just not happening. Just not happening.
That's
So
fair. That's
that
fair.
bothered me. Um,
But it was cool though.
Yeah, it was.
I,
In theory, it
I
is.
mean, it would have been cool if he would have just pushed the weights down on him.
Yeah, I like the concept of it, but it's just the execution is like this in a movie where okay, so wait, I do this a lot when I'm watching a movie. If everything is plausible in the movie, I hold it to a higher standard. Everything in this movie could actually happen, so you know there's no supernatural stuff. That's why things like that matter. If we find out that the clown, spoiler I guess, is a zombie, which it's not, then it's like okay, I can forgive some other stuff because this movie's over the top, doing stuff that's not realistic anyway. But everything in this movie is realistic, so a hacksaw is not going to cut a head smooth off. Um, you mentioned the acting, how it wasn't cringe, and it's not. And the movie did make me laugh when it was supposed to, but there was some dialogue in it. I texted you very early in the movie. I think it was like 20 minutes in, and I was like, "Brother, who wrote this dialogue?" Because some of the dialogue is just bad. It's not the dialogue that matters, but it's just like the meat of a scene where it's just people talking. It's like, ugh, but God, that's bad dialogue. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm been working on writing myself, and um, I did used to write for Sports Illustrated. Not to toot my own horn there, but I noticed bad dialogue, and I noticed when people talk like they don't really talk in real life. And so there was lines in this movie that certainly fit that bill that I just didn't like. Um, it feels like a repeated concept. Like the movie felt like, oh, I've seen this before. I hadn't, and there's definitely new twists on things, but it just felt familiar. I don't know if that's a con or a pro, honestly, because it didn't bother me, but it's just something I noticed. Like the Founders Day thing, I really got major Thanksgiving vibes there.
Oh, the movie gives me a lot of Thanksgiving
A
vibes too. I
lot of
said that in
things.
my TikTok instant reaction.
It's
Or
a much better version of Thanksgiving. Um, the accents you mentioned, I'm probably gonna crap on Kevin Durant's accent. I'm not, because it was really good. Will Sasso's was really good. My problem with the accents is they're inconsistent. So this takes place in Kittle Springs. Where was that? Did they ever say, was it Nebraska, Iowa?
I think it's Nebraska.
It's one of those cornfield states. Okay, so like the heart of the Midwest. You've got some people with thick Southern drawls. You've got some people that have a Midwestern accent. Some people that have no accent. And then Quinn's accent sounded very like Northeast, and so that one makes sense. That's where they moved from. But everyone else, the town folks' accents, like these people supposedly have been there their whole life and for generations. Why is everyone talking and sounding differently? It just kind of bothered me a little bit. Um, I don't like that in the friend group in our main group of protagonists. Of course, it's high schoolers. You're going to have the one typical mean girl, right? Like I didn't like that. It wasn't necessary. You had no reason for Janet to be this mean, turn my nose up at you towards Quinn. And so if it had paid off, sure, but it didn't like that. Um, I thought the twist was very predictable. I'm not going to spoil who's behind it, but I knew that every single person that was involved, just from the jump. There's a scene where one of the characters shows up, and you think he's going to rescue him. He doesn't, and I was like, okay, he's in on it. So it's like I think the
Oh
twist
yeah,
was
yeah.
very predictable. Um, like I guess I will spoil this one. The waitress or hatress, if you will, she was so hateful and just like nice to the dad, but mean to the daughter. And the reason that one bothered me is because the sheriff told the daughter stay away from that group. She hadn't been friends with that group yet, so why would the waitress be like, "Oh, I don't like her too"? There's no reason, I just whatever.
Maybe
And
she
then
just hated kids because they had like a thing out for the
yeah,
kids. I don't. I don't. That's the only thing I could think of. But you're
yeah,
right.
that does make sense, but it's just still I didn't care for that. It was unnecessary. You don't need to have that in that diner scene because I think it makes the twist more impactful at the end. Um, and then the forced message in the third act, it was a little too on the nose, a little too in your face for me. I'm all for movies having messages and talking about social issues and relevant topics, but when you have to spell it out like that,
Yeah.
ah, It's like, oh, you old people, or all you kids, all you care about is your technology and you're ruining the future. And the kids are like, no, we are the future, old man. You're stuck in the past. It was way too like on the nose for me. Didn't work at all. But that's all my cons, and that's going to make it sound like I didn't like the movie. I want to reiterate, I did. It was fun.
No, they're all very fair. Uh, I agree with you about the message part. I'm all for movies with messages. I mean, I kind of tend to like those kind of movies as long as they're executed right. But it did feel forced, and it was just like too in your face. I do agree with it. But I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know if that's how it is in the book either. Like I don't know how accurate. I mean, it didn't translate well on screen to
That's
me.
what I was gonna say. If it is consistent with the book, then maybe that's one of the details. Books and movies vary all the time. They change details for movies. Maybe that's something they should have tweaked a little bit for the movie.
But I mean, the writer of the book, Adam Cesar, or however you say his last name, don't want to butcher it. Apologize. He's been campaigning for people to see the movie, so I'm assuming he's pretty passionate about it and wants people to
Yeah,
see it. So
pretty
just
hands
going to
on.
leave that at that. I agree with a lot of your qualms as well. One qualm I got to get into a little bit of a spoiler territory. There's no way Cole survives at the end. Like
Why you
I'm
say that?
sorry, dude. His neck is snapping.
I don't think so.
Dude, when it shows him falling, like him losing his footing, like it shows his like
He didn't.
necks, like the rope snapping. Like I just don't buy that he got enough footing on the car to like not have his neck snap. I just don't buy that.
See, I do because he was on his tippy toes, and so when the car pulls out from underneath him, it's not like he had a long drop.
I'm talking about the initial fall, not like when the car backs up. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
the
gotcha.
initial fall. Like I thought, like this dude's dead. Like
I gotcha. That's fair.
I mean, I don't know. That one was just the biggest con. It was like, come on, man. Like he's not going to survive. I don't know if I hated the ending or not with her finding a little wind up toy and then throwing it out the window. Like, are we leaving it open for a sequel or is
Yeah,
that just a
it
cool ending?
feels like it.
It just feels like it's a horror movie. We got to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, who put that little wind up toy in my car? Like, oh brother, it's like, come on, did we really need this? I agree with you. I totally like people in my theater even like shouted out who the first killer was because this guy was pretty hefty in his suit. They're like,
Yeah.
that's the blankety blank. I will say though, I didn't expect a couple of the other ones. Like two of them that were revealed in that scene were very obvious, but I didn't expect the other two just because they weren't really relevant or prevalent characters. So I mean, I guess it is
I
kind of cool that.
We'll talk about it off the air, but I'll give you my reasons why I suspected all of them.
But like you mentioned, I also got major Thanksgiving vibes. Like it had the parade and it had this core group of friends and all that, and the new person. Like I actually kind of like that part though. Like I thought
Someone
they
being in on
executed
it
it pretty.
that really shouldn't be because of
Yeah,
their job title,
mm. I thought it was pretty. I thought they executed it a lot better though.
Oh, for sure.
And there's a pro that I forgot to mention. I thought the scene where they're running through the cornfield and the camera is like keeping up with them. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
fantastic filmmaking.
yeah, I agree.
I really don't have any major qualms other than this is just a movie that's not going to be a 10 out of 10. It's just a campy slasher, and that's what it is.
Yep.
Kind of like Until Dawn, like, video game.
Yeah.
Now it's a movie. It's like this is just a fine movie that's going to be like a
It,
6.5 to 7 for me.
we need B horror movies. We need more B horror movies, and unfortunately, what we've been getting is A horror and F horror. It seems like so.
Yeah.
This is a much needed resurgence. I feel like with this and Until Dawn, and I'll even throw Abigail in there.
Yeah. I mean, what would you consider Drop? I think Drop was a fine movie. But is that more of like a thriller though, or
Yeah, I think it's more of a thriller than traditional horror, um, but even that one because it's not an Oscar winner, so I think it fits in the same category as this movie. Even though one had a substantially larger budget, much more marketing, much more. I won't say star power because the cast wasn't really that well known, but you could just tell. I think that a lot of the supporting cast was more refined, so in that regard, star power. But yeah, I'd say they're on the same level.
but I agree with you 100% with what you said. We do need more movies like this. Like I don't want every movie to be Midsummer. Like I love the movie, but I don't want to watch that every single time. Like I need a come down kind of horror movie where I'm not
It's a
stressed out and freaking out and all that the
it's a
whole
great
time.
popcorn flick.
Exactly. It's one like you mentioned with Until Dawn. You put it on in the background too.
Yep.
Or what? No. What would we?
What
What
was
did we
that?
review recently? We reviewed something recently that you liked, and you said,
What
"Oh, it's
was it?
corporate animals." You said like
Yeah,
something you can just put it on the background and kind of scroll your phone or whatever, or
yeah,
write your movie or whatever. Just have something going. You can just look up, oh, that's a cool kill, or
yeah.
that's a funny line, or they were good in that role. Uh,
Yep.
I also don't buy this kid carrying a whole deer out of the woods like that. I don't care if it's a 4 point. By God, a
He's a big
deer is
boy.
heavy.
He's a big boy.
I mean, he was a hefty fellow, but I mean, still toting a deer out of the woods like that.
Yeah.
Come
Like it
on
was
now,
like it was a baby
like it was
swaddling
a baby. Yeah,
in his arms. That was funny.
it was funny, but it's like, come on, give me a break. And is this a complaint, Dustin? Like, am I? Because there's kind of a reveal between two dudes that happens later on. Is Cole kind of like giving off weird vibes? Like, it's like, was he being a little too extra with Quinn? Like,
I called
or
it when they were when she like snuck him out of the barn and went and they found that shed. I was like, oh, and it didn't go down. I was like, oh, he's gay. Like, who you
see,
hiding? Who you
see,
trying to convince, me or you? Like, I knew it. It's fine.
I didn't go straight to he's gay. I just thought maybe he's just nervous, or I don't know. Maybe he was just nervous. I didn't know. Like, maybe he just didn't want to move. But once it's revealed, it's like, why was you trying to hang out with her so much? Trying
He's
to
trying to
not
hide it.
be that way.
Yeah, he's trying to hide it because I
And
mean,
that might
even
be in the book too. Like, I don't know.
well, even his. I guess this is spoiler territory for that, but it's not a major plot point. Um, the Rust. Rust told him is like a because you don't know what you want, and he's like, or because I don't know what I want. He goes, you do know what you want, you just don't want to admit it, or however you phrased it. I think it's just that like a teenager trying to struggle with his identity and his sexuality, like he wasn't sure, so he didn't want to lean all the way in one way or the other, and yeah, I think that's how that was.
Yeah, but as a young testosterone filled young man, you got a good looking girl like Quinn on top of you. I think you just realized what you were then.
Oh yeah, I think for sure. I think he. Well, and also I think he knows. I think he knows. He just doesn't want to necessarily admit it for maybe his family's sake, or this is a. They've made it clear this is a very traditional town,
Yeah.
so he's already been accused of horrendous crimes in this town. How are they going to react now if they find out that he's also gay? So maybe he's just trying to hide it.
Yeah. Save face. Anywho, Dustin, you got any more final thoughts? Pros, cons, share your rating. I don't know if you've rated it or not yet.
I have not. I jumped in the truck after the movie ended and came straight home to record. Well, besides, I had to stop for gas in Zen, and the line was out the back of the dang gas station, so it took me a while. But yeah, I think this movie warrants seeing. It's a Shutter release, so if you can't make it to the theater, it'll be on Shutter soon, I'm sure. Check it out. It's worth watching. It's a lot of fun. Don't go into it looking for Midsommar, Hereditary. It's not that kind of movie. But if you go into it with an open mind, wanting just some fun stuff, I think you'll find it. Um, I know what I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. We've said it before. 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10 if you prorate it. That's not a bad movie.
Not at all. It's enjoyable. There's a lot of stuff you liked about it. It's just some movies are just not going to be a 10 out of 10. Like, and this just isn't going to be one of those, and that's fine. I gave it, I think, a 3.5.
You did.
Just because I did have fun with it and it was a good time. And I hate that I got to throw a disclaimer out there. I did miss the opening scene. I missed a little bit of the opening because these pricks at AMC don't want to announce for early access we're going to start right on time. You think if you got a 6:30 movie, you got to like 6:50 till it starts playing. I got there at 6:37 and that joint was already playing. I was like, God darn it.
You didn't miss anything like too major. I'll fill you in on what you missed, but nothing that affects the story in any way.
Yeah, I know, but you know how important opening. I'm assuming it's a kill. I think I looked it up on AI. Anyways, it's a kill. Like it kind of puts you in the mood, for to
No,
watch a movie,
I feel
and you don't
you.
want to miss anything.
I feel you, and maybe that's why. Because I think if you told me where you went into the theater, I think if I had started there, I would have been like, let's go, let's get the ball rolling. And I didn't have that because I did see that opening scene. So you're right in that regard.
Yeah, it's just about
Who?
the ups and downs like wrestling, like you always talk about. You got to
Yeah, you
warm
got
them
to
up
heat
and
them
cool them
up,
down.
cool them down, heat them back up. So the crowd, doesn't lose interest and they don't blow their blow up at first or all at one time and be exhausted for the finale.
There were a lot of
Who's
people late last night though. Like there were some people who walked in at like 6:55 and missed 25 minutes of the movie,
bro?
so they missed a lot.
The funniest thing ever happened when I went and saw Thunderbolts the other day. So I'm sitting there. I watched it in IMAX, and I'm sitting there in my seat, and the movie had been going for a good 40 minutes. Dude strolls in, and he just stands there, and like I can see him out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, "What's this guy doing? Sit down or don't? Like, what are you doing?" It's distracting because I could just see him. Finally, he walks over. I'm sitting on the upper level, the front row, of the upper level. So there's a guardrail in front of me, a walkway in front of me. He walks past someone who's sitting to my left, walks over to me, and asks, "Is this the whatever time this show started?" And I said, "No, this one started before that." He goes, "Oh, I'm in the wrong theater." Buddy stood there and watched like 5 minutes of the movie that he
That he
wasn't
didn't
supposed to
want to
be in.
see.
He was across the hall, so he's gonna be like, "Oh, I've seen this." That was just ridiculous. But who's the
How do people get so confused? Like they tell you what theater you're in.
well, yeah, and this one was there's the Regal I go to. They've got IMAX. Well, actually, I didn't see. I saw an RPX, which is like Dolby with the vibrating seats with the sound and stuff like that, and an enhanced picture, all this stuff. And then directly across from that, they have 4DX, which is the rumble chairs, the ones that like move like you're in a motion simulator. He was supposed to be in that one, and they were both. He was supposed to be in the first door on the left. He went in the first door on the right, so he just got mixed up, poor fella. But who was the? There's a politician that's like gonna introduce a bill to hold movie theaters accountable for like starting movies when they're advertised to start. I don't remember the guy's name. Pretty
You
sure.
sent that to me. It was in New Jersey though, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, that guy's got my vote for president. I don't know his politics. I don't know what party he's on, but you get that passed, and I'll vote for you, buddy.
Yeah, you got at least one notch on the belt. Like I like this message,
But
dude.
it's
I just
just like I'm
but
all
seriously
for
though,
it.
imagine walking in 10 minutes late to screen.
Yeah,
Like you're cooked.
yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Um,
Or smile too.
yeah, I was
Even if
trying
you
to
don't
think.
like that movie or not, that's a
Like,
great opening scene you miss.
I think The Dark Knight Rises falls in that category, or The Dark Knight, because both those have great opening scenes. But I'm all for showing trailers before a movie, but 710 should mean 710 for the movie. So show your trailers. It's a simple fix. You just back everything up 20 minutes. Your first show, back it up 20 minutes, and everything's still on schedule. I don't understand it.
I don't either. And dude, imagine going to see Sinners, which is like 2.5 hours almost. Like my theater shows movies up to like 10:30 at nighttime
Yeah,
sometimes.
same.
It's like, bro, you're not getting out of there till damn near 2 in the morning because they're going to show 30 minutes of ads for something that's going to have the whole house packed.
But
It's ridiculous.
you're right. The biggest issue I have with it's inconsistency. Like there was a movie I like to do double features, and so there for a while I had it figured out. It was 27 minutes of trailers. I knew I had 27 minutes to get to the movie. The show times were kind of wonky, so I was like, "Ooh, it's going to be close when I get out of this one to get across the hall to this other movie." Apparently, they didn't show trailers. Like I walked in 5 to 10 minutes late for a movie. I don't remember which one it was. I told you what it was. It was The Woman in the Yard. I
Mm.
missed the start of it because it was a double feature, and it shouldn't have. But the inconsistency, like if you're gonna show 27 minutes worth of trailers, do it every show or don't do it at all. A holes.
Yeah, pricks. It's like what, like, and especially with something like early access, like you can put in the disclaimer, "Hey, we're
Yeah,
starting at this time,"
yeah,
because like that new Mission Impossible movie's coming out, and they're doing like some special fan event for it. Like for AMC, like our A list isn't accepted. Like you got to pay to get in, but they're starting right at 7:30. You're getting posters. You get all this bullshit with it. So I mean, why can't you just do that for special like early access stuff? I don't know. We're just ranting at this point. Dustin, final thoughts on Clown in a Cornfield?
this is the only movie that's releasing this week that I'm going to see. Like I told you, that Flight Risk or whatever the movie is called with Josh Hartnett does not interest me at all. Neither does that other thriller movie. So this is the only movie I saw this week in the theater, but it was worth my time, so I recommend it.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I mean, go support this is indie horror. I mean RLJE Films, same people who did It's a Wonderful Knife, same studio, I
I
guess. I
knew I'd
think
seen that
what it
before.
is,
Okay.
production. I don't know what the fuck they are, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go support them. Like it's
Yep.
worth a watch for sure. And Kevin Durant is great. He's awesome.
And Will
He
Smith.
he kind of looked like the Joker at the end, didn't he?
He did, and I wasn't going to bring that up unless you did. It did bother me. It did bother me. You don't have to be the Joker every time you put clown makeup on. He licked his lips a lot like he was trying to be Heath Ledger Joker. Don't do that. You don't have to do that every time you put clown makeup on someone.
Gosh, no, I feel you. But I mean, I'm not that passionate. I mean, I haven't even seen The Dark Knight since it's been a long time. I have seen it, but it's been a long. I've seen all three of those movies.
They're
I need
good.
to rewatch them.
They're
But
good.
anyway, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Clown and Cornfield is definitely worth a watch. It only had 2 showings for me tonight, so I don't know how big of a
Oh,
release it's getting. Maybe it's more screens tomorrow because I feel like Sinners and Thunderbolts are taking up a lot of auditoriums right now because those are the hits.
yep.
But definitely, if you get the chance, go see Clown and the Cornfield. It's fun. Support indie horror and support cinema. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Jason X.